Hello, welcome to Backyard Maintenance and Garage. Today we're going to go over tractor measurements. If you're anything like me, when you were deciding to buy your tractor, maybe your B2601, you had questions like me, like, what size is it with different attachments? Is it going to fit on my current trailer, or am I going to have to buy a new trailer? So today we're going to try and help you answer some of those questions. All right guys, real quick before we get too far into this video, take all these measurements with a grain of salt. They are by no means precise. They are very, very close estimates, okay? So just know that before we get started. All right, so the attachments we'll be talking today are as followed. Front bucket, the Land Pride Grapple, the Land Pride Land Plane, and the Land Plane Brush Hog. Also, the B870 Backhoe. Now with this setup, we're going to pretend that we're not taking the loader with us. We're just going to pretend we're going to take the tractor with the bush hog. Now, in some cases, the front of your trailer has a front rail. Those heights can vary. So we're going to measure the bottom of the front frame to see if it will fit over that front rail, meaning you can bring your tractor all the way to the front and push your tires up against the rail and let the front of your brush guard overhang that rail, leaving you a little bit more room to get this on your trailer. So that height from the ground to the bottom of this frame right here is 16 3/4 inches. We're going to start our measurements from the very front of that brush guard and work our way back. From the front of that brush guard to the rear wheel is 194.5 inches, or 16 feet 2.5 inches. From the front of that brush guard to right here, the rear of this bush hog, is 176.5 inches, or 14 feet 8.5 inches. From the front of that brush guard to the rear of the 3-point is 116 inches, or 9 feet 8 inches. From the front tire to the rear tire is 182 inches, or 15 feet 2 inches. From the front tire to the end of that bush hog is 164 inches, or 13 feet 8 inches. From the front tire to the rear 3-point is 103.5 inches, or 8 feet 7.5 inches. So the first measurement we're going to take is from front of that grapple to the rear wheel. That is 218 inches, or 18 feet 2 inches. The next measurement we're going to do is from the very front of that grapple to the end of the brush hog, but before the wheel, is 201 inches, or 16 feet 9 inches. From the front of the grapple to the rear of the 3-point hitch is 139.5 inches, or 11 feet 7.5 inches. All right, now let's go put the bucket on and take some more measurements. Okay, so the next measurement is going to be from the front of that bucket to the rear of that wheel. And we're looking at 226 inches, which would be 18 feet 10 inches. Okay, the next measurement is from the front of the bucket to the rear of that brush hog minus the wheel. Would be 208 inches, 17 feet 4 inches. Now from the front of that bucket to the rear of that 3-point would be 147 inches, or 12 foot 3 inches. The next measurement I want to take is from the front of that loader minus the bucket. So to the front of that loader minus the bucket to the rear wheel of that brush hog is 203.5 inches. So that would make 16 feet 11.5 inches. From the front of that loader without a bucket to the end of that brush hog minus the rear wheel, about 185.5 inches, 15 feet 5.5 inches. From the front of that loader minus the bucket to the end of the 3-point is about 125 inches, or 10 feet 5 inches. One more measurement. I don't know who needs this, but I'm going to do it anyways. From the front of that loader without the bucket to the rear wheels, about 111 inches, or 9 feet 3 inches. All right, let's switch over to the land plane. Okay, our first measurement is going to be with the loader, without the bucket, and the land plane. So we are looking at 166.5 inches, or 13 feet 10.5 inches. All right, the next measurement is with the bucket to the end of the land plane. All right, we are at 189.5 inches. That would be 15 feet 9.5 inches. All right, the next measurement, we're going to pretend we took the loader off and we're going to measure from the front of the brush guard all the way to the end of the land plane. All right, we are looking at 156.5 inches or 13 feet and a half an inch. Okay, so now we're going to measure from the front of the tire to the back of the land plane, and we are basically 12 foot even, 144 inches. All right, so I almost forgot to do this part. We're going to do it with the grapple next. The grapple and the land plane. All right, we're at 179.5 inches or 14 feet 11.5 inches. All right, from the front of the bucket to the rear of the backhoe is 193 inches or 16 feet 1 inch. And from the front of the bucket to the rear of the tilted backhoe is 171 inches or 14 feet 3 inches. So the next measurements we're going to take are, we're going to pretend that the loader is no longer on the tractor. So here we go. From the front of the brush guard to the end of the backhoe is 161 inches or 13 feet 5 inches. From the front of the brush guard to the end of the backhoe with it tilted off to the side is 139 inches or 11 feet 7 inches. And from the front of the brush guard to the rear wheels is 103 inches or 8 feet 7 inches. All right, from the front wheels to the end of the backhoe is 149 inches or 12 feet 5 inches. From the front wheels to the end of the backhoe while it's tilted off to the side is 127 inches or 10 feet 7 inches. All right, from the front of that grapple all the way to the end of the backhoe, 184 inches or 15 feet 4 inches. From the front of that grapple to the rear wheels is 126 inches or 10 feet 6 inches. From the front of the grapple all the way to the back of the backhoe tilted off to the side is 161 inches or 13 feet 5 inches. All right, guys, I hope that helped you out. If there's anything I missed or if there's any attachments you want to see that you didn't see here today, let us know down in the comments so we can make future videos and help you guys out. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. All right, guys, well, that's it. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. And if you like this video, check out these videos. That one's kind of cool. I like that one. That one's cool too. That one's my favorite.